Davis at the corner store, been there since '82. He seen the neighborhood go through everything it's been through. 3 different wars on the block, 2 different generations of the same family problems and the same complications. He never says a lot, he just watches and he knows. And when he speaks, you listen because the whole block shows up in what he says without him trying to preach. Corner store philosophy, the most practical teach. He told me once while I was standing at the counter slow. He said, son, the ones who make it are the ones who know the difference between what they can control and what they can't. He said, water what you planted and stop watering the complaints. Then he bagged my stuff and that was the end of the wisdom. I stood outside for 10 minutes in a particular rhythm of processing what he said with the smoke and the night air. Corner store philosophy from the man who's always there. Corner store philosophy, yeah, yeah. Corner store philosophy, real. Corner store philosophy from the ones who lived it. Corner store philosophy, they don't just visit. The wisdom it lives in the real people, real places. Corner store philosophy in everyday faces. Yeah. My neighbor on the 2nd floor, she's 73. She been watching the same block for 60 years easy. She said, baby, the neighborhood changes, the people don't. She said every generation thinks they the first ones who won't make it, and then they do or they don't. And either way, the sun comes up, the corner store opens another day. She handed me something through the door without a word. Corner store philosophy and everything I heard. I sit with the smoke and I think about these people now, the ones whose names I know who showed me some kind of how, without ever calling it a lesson or a mentorship. Just a living in the same block and a fellowship of being neighbors in a particular sense, where the wisdom lives between the buildings dense, with lives that have the answers if you listen right. Corner store philosophy in the smoke and the night. Corner store philosophy, yeah, yeah. Corner store philosophy, yeah, yeah. Corner store philosophy from the ones who lived it. Corner store philosophy, they don't just visit. The wisdom it lives in the real people, real places. Corner store philosophy in everyday faces. Yeah, yeah. Corner store philosophy, Mr. Davis. Yeah, still open. Yeah, corner store philosophy. Listen to the old ones. Yeah, corner store philosophy. Yeah, yeah. Corner store philosophy.
Yeah. 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 I learned about the smoke from the older heads on the block, the ones who sat on milk crates from about 6 o'clock to midnight every summer, just existing in the air of the neighborhood, and everything the neighborhood would share. They passed it around like it was something that they owed to each other in the evening, and the carrying of the load of being grown up on a block that didn't give you much. Secondhand smoke from the older heads and such. I used to watch them from the window when I was about 9, the way they laughed at things across that particular line between the hard and the funny that the streets produced, the way the smoke and the laughter were in cahoots. I didn't understand it then, but something in me knew that what they had inside the circle was particular and true, a kind of bond that the suburb and the office never build. Secondhand smoke and the realness that it feels.
Secondhand smoke from the block I came from. Secondhand smoke from the older ones. Yeah. Secondhand smoke in the evening there. Yeah. Secondhand smoke, it was always there. Yeah. Teaching me something I couldn't name. Yeah. Secondhand smoke, and I'm back again. Yeah, 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 yeah. Now I'm the one outside when the evening settles in, and the young ones in the window looking out at the scene. I wonder what they're taking from the picture that I make, sitting on the same block that I sat on for my sake of figuring out the life and what the life requires. Secondhand smoke and the wisdom of the prior generations, rituals passed without a word. Secondhand smoke, the lesson always gets heard. I think about the ones who sat on that same crate. Some of them made it out and some of them met fate way too early in the way the blocks and
sometimes provides. Secondhand smoke and the grief that it hides underneath the ritual and the passing in the night. I smoke for the ones who ain't here to see the light of this particular evening in this particular step. Secondhand smoke and the ones we ain't forget. Secondhand smoke from the block I came from. Secondhand smoke from the older one. Yeah. Secondhand smoke in the evening there. Yeah. Secondhand smoke, it was always there. Yeah. Teaching me something I couldn't name. Yeah. Secondhand smoke, and I'm back again. Yeah, 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 yeah. Secondhand smoke for the old heads. Yeah, still out here. Secondhand smoke, block raised me. Yeah, 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 yeah. Secondhand smoke, 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 smoke.
Minimum wage and the maximum dream. That's the gap I've been living in between. $8.50 an hour and the vision that's worth everything I got left on this particular earth. I clock out at 6 and I clock in at 9. To the second job that's supposed to be the grind. That makes the dream more possible, but possible stays far when your minimum wage and the maximum scar. I don't talk about the money with the people I know, because everybody's struggling and nobody wants to show of another man's particular financial situation. I keep it in the smoke, in the late night meditation, where I look at the numbers and I look at the goal, and the distance in between is what it costs to have a soul in this particular economy, in this particular time. Minimum wage dreams and every verse is a dime. Minimum wage dreams, but the dreams ain't minimum. Minimum wage dreams in the smoke of the continuum of the grind and the vision and the distance between. Minimum wage dreams and the life that I mean to be living when the work finally pays out. Minimum wage dreams, that's what this about. Yeah. I came home last Thursday and sat down on the floor. Not dramatically, just tired to the core. The kind of tired that the two jobs and the dream produces when you're somewhere in between. The broken arrive, then the month is getting thin. I reach for the familiar and I let the smoke into the particular exhaustion of a man who's still trying. Minimum wage dreams and the smoke helps me keep flying. I wrote 3 songs last week during the lunch break. I've been building something real with every step I take toward the version of the life I wrote down at 18 in the notebook that's still sitting on the shelf between the other things I meant to do and actually did. Minimum wage dreams from a minimum kid who became a maximum man through the grind and the smoke. Minimum wage dreams and I ain't no joke. Minimum wage dreams, but the dreams ain't minimal. Minimum wage dreams in the smoke of the continuum of the grind and the vision and the distance between. Minimum wage dreams in the life that I mean to be living when the work finally pays out. Minimum wage dreams, that's what this about. Yeah. Minimum wage, maximum dreams. Yeah. Smoke knows. Minimum wage dreams. Still building. Still gone. Yeah.
They don't expect much from my zip code, and I know it. They wrote the ceiling in before I even had to show it. I felt it in the counselor's face in junior year when I said what I was aiming for, and she said, well, dear, let's be realistic about the options that we have. I took that home and I turned it to the fuel on the pad that I've been running since the moment that she said that word. Wrong zip code dreams, and I made sure she heard. Everything the wrong zip code produced in me is real. It's not the inspiration poster on the wall kind of feel. It's the Tuesday at 2 a.m. when the doubt says go to bed, and the chip that is permanent on the left side of my head says no, you got something to prove, and the proof is the work. I've been mining the wrong zip code for everything it's worth. Not the trauma as a brand, but the actual thing. Wrong zip code dreams and the particular sting. Wrong zip code dreams and I'm bringing them through. Wrong zip code dreams, what else was I supposed to do? Zip code dreams in the smoke in the lake. Wrong zip code dreams, I refuse to relate to the ceiling that they put on where I come from. Wrong zip code dreams, and I'm not done. Yeah, wrong zip code, wrong. Yeah, I light it up when the doubt gets loud tonight. The particular kind of smoke that helps me see right past the zip code and the counselor in the expected lane to the version of the life that I've been building in the rain of the doubt and the dismissal, and to prove it to me. I've been proving it daily since I was 17, and the proof is getting heavier in the best kind of way. Wrong zip code dreams, and I earn it every day. I don't want the pity, and I don't want the profile. The wrong zip code kid who made it after a while. I just want the work to speak in the particular language of someone who took the dismissal and managed to turn it into something more than what they planned for me. Wrong zip code dreams, and I'm exactly where I plan to be working. Wrong zip code dreams, and I'm bringing them through. Wrong zip code dreams, what else was I supposed to do? Wrong zip code dreams in the smoke in the lake. Wrong zip code dreams, I refuse to relate to the ceiling that they put on where I come from. Wrong zip code dreams, and I'm not done. Yeah, wrong zip code, right dream. Wrong zip code, watch me though, yeah. Wrong zip code dreams, not done.
Let me do the inventory on myself tonight. Let me lay it out flat in the low light. No excuses and no comfort and no one here to see. Just the smoke and the honest and the late night me. I've been running from this conversation for a minute now. Using the busy and the grind is my particular how. To avoid sitting with the actual account. Late night inventory and it's time to count. I owe an apology to 3 people this week. I said I'd do a thing and then I couldn't speak. When the moment came to do it and I chose the other way. I've been adding to the list since about Monday. There's a call I need to make that I've been putting off for months. There's a conversation that I owe to someone that I once call my closest and let distance do the work. Late night inventory going through the hurt. Late night inventory, no cap. Late night inventory, laying out the facts. Late night inventory, smoke in the air. Late night inventory, because someone's gotta stare at the actual truth of what's been going on. Late night inventory before the new dawn. Yeah. Yeah. On the other side, the inventory showed some gains. I kept the promise that I made the 3 separate pains. I showed up for somebody when showing up was hard. I put the work in on the craft and on the yard of the creative thing I'm building in the background slow. I stayed when staying was the harder thing to show. Late night inventory and the credits and the debts. Late night inventory and no room for regrets. I put the smoke down and I picked the notebook up. I write the 3 things that tomorrow needs to touch to close the gap between the inventory and the man I wanna be by the end of the particular plan. Then I fold it, put it in the pocket of my coat for the morning when the smoke is gone and all I've got is the inventory and the promise and the step. Late night inventory and no room to forget. Late night inventory, no cap. Late night inventory, laying out the facts. Late night inventory, smoke in the air. Late night inventory, because someone's gotta stare at the actual truth of what's been going on. Late night inventory before the new dawn. Yeah, late night inventory. Yeah. Smoke don't lie. Late night inventory. Write it down. Yeah. And do something about it. Late night inventory. Yeah. Yeah.
Notebooks and roaches on the table where I write. Been at it since about 9 this particular night. The notebooks got 3 songs and a half, and the problem that the
Third verse keeps presenting, and I cannot solve them with the regular mind. So I reach for the particular, to the thing that opens up the syllabic spectacular of the subconscious, where the real verses live. Notebooks and roaches and everything they give. The roach in the ashtray is the evidence of the hours. The notebook is the evidence of the particular powers that the combination unlocks in the late night mind, when the rational surrenders and the creative finds the door that the exhaustion and the smoke between them open to the place where all the best verses get spoken. Before they hit the page, they live somewhere in the haze. Notebooks and roaches and the length of the creative days. Yeah. Notebooks and roaches, late night grind. Yeah. Notebooks and roaches, what I find when I sit down with the smoke and the pen. Yeah. Notebooks and roaches, doing it again. Yeah. Notebooks and roaches, late night grind. Yeah. Notebooks and roaches, what I find when I sit down with the smoke and the pen. Yeah. Notebooks and roaches, doing it again. I got notebooks from 2008 on the shelf, every one of them a particular version of myself, working through the thing that needed working through, with the smoke in the late night and the verse coming through. The notebooks is the archive of the man I've been becoming. The roaches is the evidence that something was humming in the creative engine that the late night feeds. Notebooks and roaches, that's all that this work needs. Yeah. They don't see the notebooks when they hear the finished song. They don't know the 3 a.m. that the verse came from strong. They don't know the 5 versions that I burned before the right one. The roach in the ashtray by the notebook and the fight done internally before a single bar makes the cut. Notebooks and roaches in the creative gut that keeps me at the table when the table gives nothing. Notebooks and roaches, and I keep coming. Yeah. Notebooks and roaches, late night grind. Yeah. Notebooks and roaches, what I find when I sit down with the smoke and the pen. Yeah. Notebooks and roaches, doing it again. Yeah. Notebooks and roaches, late night grind. Yeah. Notebooks and roaches, what I find when I sit down with the smoke and the pen. Yeah. Notebooks and roaches, doing it again. Yeah. Nope, 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 nope. Notebooks and roaches. Late, 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 late. Yeah. I work, 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 work. Notebooks and roaches. Never glamorous, always real. Yeah. Notebooks and roaches. Yeah. Nope, 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 nope. Yeah. Nope, nope, nope. Books and roaches. Block taught me things no classroom ever covered. The kind of education that you find when you discover that the street has got a curriculum of its own design, and the tuition is the living and the payment is the time you put in just by being present in a particular school. Or the corner and the stoop and the unwritten rule of how you carry yourself and what you owe to where you're from. Block therapy been in session since day one. I learned to read a room from watching older men. I learned that silence is a power from the way they handle when somebody crossed a line and they just looked and didn't speak. The volume of the quiet on the block at its peak taught me more about negotiation and about respect than any book on leadership or any management concept. The block is where the real emotional intelligence lives. Block therapy and the smoke and what the evening gives. Block therapy, yeah, the block been my teacher. Block therapy, nothing reaches deeper. Block therapy, learned it on the stoop. Block therapy, that's my particular school. The smoke and the block at the end of the day. Block therapy, keeping the noise away. I talk to my therapist now on the 2nd and the 4th Tuesday of the month, and she's got incredible worth in what she brings to the particular work we do. But the block was the first therapy I ever knew, before the language for the feeling and the name for the pain, before the healthy coping mechanisms and the frame of clinical psychology and what it all means. Block therapy was processing in the in-between. Now I go back to the block when the week is real heavy, when the modern life and all its weight leaves me unsteady. I sit in a particular spot and let the block do what it does, fill me up with the specific kind of because that only comes from being somewhere that received you before you were anything and never once deceived you into thinking you were more or less than what you are. Block therapy in the smoke under the city stars. Block therapy, yeah, the block been my teacher. Block therapy, nothing reaches deeper. Block therapy, learned it on the stoop. Block therapy,
It's my particular school. Smoke in the block at the end of the day. Block therapy, keeping the noise away. Yeah, yeah. Block therapy, yeah. The block still teaching. Block therapy, smoke on the stool, yeah. Block therapy.
A lot of people left the building over the years. Some left for better and some left in tears. And some just disappeared the way the block sometimes does. Takes people from you without a reason or a cause that you can fully understand from the outside looking. I'm still in the building and the building kept on cooking up the circumstances that it always has. Still in the building and the smoke and the jazz. I had my moments when I had the door in my hand, when the outside somewhere else was feeling like the plan, when the building felt like it was closing on the walls, when the ceiling felt too low, when the city felt like halls that led to nowhere particular that I could see. Still in the building and the building stayed with me, or I stayed with it. Either way the result is the same. Still in the building and I'm still in the game. Still in the building, yeah. Still in the building after everything, yeah. Still in the building, smoke still rising up. Still in the building, filling up my cup with whatever the building's got left to give. Still in the building, that's the way I live. The building means the neighborhood, the people that I know. The art I've been making in the room with the window that looks out on the block. I've been looking out since 9. Still in the building and the building still mine, in the sense that the particular location shaped the man that I became and can't be escaped or unlearned or rewritten into something clean. Still in the building and I know what I mean. I like to smoke and think about the ones who came before, who sat in the same buildings behind the same door and made something from nothing in the same zip code. Still in the building, carrying the same particular load, but also carrying that particular evidence that the building can produce the improbable indents, achieving of the person who refused to be defined. Still in the building and the smoke in the grind. Still in the building, yeah. Still in the building after everything, yeah. Still in the building, smoke still rising up. Still in the building, filling up my cup with whatever the building's got left to give. Still in the building, that's the way I live. Yeah, 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 yeah. Still in the building. Yeah, didn't go nowhere. Still in the building. Smoke still going up. Yeah. Still in the building, in the building, in the building. That's a statement, that's a statement, that's a statement. Still here, still here.
Yeah. Turn it out.
Sitting on the stoop at 11 with the smoke going up. The city doing its thing and I'm trying to give up. The version of the thinking that's been eating at my neck. The inventory of the week that's left me in a wreck. I ain't even going front like the month was what I planned. I fell short on 3 things that I had inside my hand and let slip through the fingers while I wasn't paying right attention. Concrete thoughts on a concrete night.
The block is quiet now, the loudest it gets all day is this particular hour when the traffic's gone away and the real sounds come through the pipes and the wind. And a man can actually hear himself think again. I've been out here about an hour just sitting with the weight of everything I know I gotta change before it's late. Not late like deadline late, but late like it becomes. The life instead of something that I'm moving through concrete comes.
Concrete thoughts on a concrete step. Concrete thoughts for the hours you got left. Concrete thoughts, no filter, no front. Concrete thoughts, say exactly what you want. Say to yourself when nobody's around. Concrete thoughts where the real ones are found. Yeah.
I made a list in my head of the 3 things I'm changing. No more waiting on the perfect and the stars aligning. No more talking about the move without the moving. No more giving my energy to things that ain't improving my position, my perspective, or my peace of mind. Concrete thoughts at 11 and the smoke help me find the clarity that the daytime takes away with its noise. Concrete thoughts in the smoke and no other choice. My mans came out at 12 and sat beside me quiet. He been going through his own particular ride of circumstances, and we both just sat there in the still. 2 men on the stoop with the smoke and the will to figure out the next part of the chapter we in. Concrete thoughts in the smoke and where to begin. We didn't solve nothing, but we both felt better for it. Concrete thoughts on the concrete stoop, and I'm for it. Concrete thoughts.
Concrete thoughts on a concrete step. Concrete thoughts for the hours you got left. Concrete thoughts, no filter, no front. Concrete thoughts, say exactly what you want to say to yourself when nobody's around. Concrete thoughts, where the real ones are found. Yeah. Concrete thoughts,
Stoop at midnight. Smoke down.
concrete thoughts,
Concrete thoughts. No cap.
concrete thoughts,
Just real.
concrete thoughts.
Yeah.